US and Britain's top diplomats unveiled more than $1 billion in new combined support for Ukraine Wednesday. Secretary of State Antony Blinken and UK Foreign Minister David Lammy were visiting Kiev to hear Ukraine's war goals. In a press conference bookended by air raid sirens, both foreign ministers also hinted at lifting limits on long-range missile strikes into Russia, which Ukraine desperately wants. However, there was no clear answer by the end of the briefing.
And among other things, we discussed long-range fires, but a number of other things as well. And as I said at the outset, I'm going to take that discussion back to Washington to brief the President on what I heard. I know that David's doing the same.
Lammy and Blinken had arrived at a critical juncture in Ukraine's struggle against Russia. Russia has been advancing in the east, putting pressure on Kyiv. Meanwhile, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has been pleading with allies to remove curbs on long-range US ATACMS and British Storm Shadow missiles to strike deep into Russian territory. But Washington and some European capitals fear that would provoke Moscow and draw the West into a direct conflict with Russia. Overnight, US President Joe Biden suggested there was room for compromise and that his administration was, quote, working out the long-range strike limits. While Vyacheslav Volodin, Speaker of Russia's lower parliament, said Moscow would consider the US and its allies to be parties to the war if they allowed Kyiv to use long-range weapons to strike deep in Russia. Speaking on Wednesday, Zelensky revealed he will travel to the US later this month to present a plan to Biden and both candidates in November's presidential election that he hopes will bring the end of the war closer.